Francisco, we're here in San Francisco,
Right.
and you're out here on the streets. Tell me about it.
Well, I'm on my way right now to Embarcadero. They give out pizza and they have about 2 or 3 different organizations that come out and feed at from 5:30 to approximately 6:30.
Right.
And it's not a fun thing to be out here. I was in the shelter for probably about a year and a half, and I got burned out of the shelter. A guy that I know got killed off in there. There's a lot of, to me, the way they run the shelter, there's not exactly, it's not exactly safe. You know, it's the people that come in, and then the way that they run the shelters.
Right.
You know, shelter should be where you go, you should be able to get in. Well, sometimes you go to shelter, you wait 3 or 4 hours. And then when you get in, not all of them, but many of the people that work there talk demeaning to you, like and I tell people, other people like me, we're doing them a favor, because if it wasn't for us, a lot of them wouldn't even have jobs, because a lot of them are supposed to come from the same type of backgrounds that we come from.
Right.
And after being in the shelter for about a year and a half, I got burned out of it, from going, and I see myself fixing the snap, so I decided to, things that I was telling other people, what you need to do is just don't go in the shelter for a couple of weeks and see how people would, and draw up some grievances. So I decided to stay out at night, and I've been staying out, like for the last 6 months. It's not great out here, but it's better than, being in, I mean, to me, it's a lesser evil.
Yeah. People don't understand, everybody thinks, why don't they go in the shelters? But often, and I'm not getting on the shelters case, because often they're doing the best they can with, high demand, but it's nothing nice.
No, I had never stayed in the street, maybe overnight or something like that, but I'd never just say put on my, but it's, they kind of nitpick. I know the shelters have to be, but they, a person I've been incarcerated before years ago, and you committed a crime. You know what I mean? So
Right.
well, at least most people, and if you haven't committed a crime, the tells you, well, you didn't do that, but you done something. You got away with something, in your life.
Right.
So, but most people have committed a crime. When you're in the shelter, it's, and not only that, the
You
thing
shouldn't feel like you committed a crime.
the thing about the shelter, you have too much of a mixture of people. You have young people. They're using it as a halfway house also. They're letting inmates go in there. You got people that are 90 years old sometimes. I see old women.
Right.
They need to be somewhere else,
Oh my God.
because you have predators in the shelter. You have people staying in the shelter looking to take from other people.
Right.
I've been out here 2 years. Fortunately, I've only had 2 things taken from me. But a lot of people get a lot of things taken from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's,
So how'd you end up homeless?
A combination of things. You know what I mean? I was on drugs in Oakland. I'm originally out of Oakland, and me and my ex-wife, I was doing drugs, she started doing drugs, and we had been doing drugs for, I was a functioning
Right.
drug addict. I had I had a contract over here doing janitorial work.
Yeah.
I went Chapter 11, and then I was a weekend user, and eventually I started using every day. And we split up eventually. She went her way, I went my way. I ended up in San Francisco. If you're gonna be homeless, you're better off being homeless in San Francisco than Oakland. They have less, there's less, it's easier to survive, put it that way, in San Francisco. And that's when I was homeless first time. I stayed homeless for 9 months. And I got a place. I got a place on 6th Street, stayed there for 5 years. My fault, I should have been trying to get in a better place, but I, continued to do,
Right.
drugs. And I ended up getting kicked out of there. I went upside, well, I didn't really get kicked out. I went up somebody's, head, dealing with stuff in there. And they asked, they asked me, because that was in 5 years, that was my first write-up. They said, well, you're one of our best people here.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I decided I just didn't even, you know what I mean? I didn't want to, deal. They had other buildings all over.
Right.
They said, we'll move you to another building. You know what I mean? And I just decided I'd I stay in the shelter. You know what I mean? You know, for a
So
while.
you're
and
68, you told me.
I just made 68.
You never thought this would be your retirement?
Not really. I never did envision being
Homeless at 68.
and so it's. I'm won't say I'm completely off drugs, but I'm headed towards that way. I've got myself where something happened to me 2 weeks ago. You probably can't see it, but if you'd have seen me 2 weeks ago, both my eyes were black. You can see my glasses right now.
Yeah,
Look like I went in a fight with Joe Frazier. I was in the Embarcadero. I usually sleep over here on 6th Street.
Right.
But I was resting up there and fell asleep and fell.
Oh, jeez.
Rolled off, and it's about 3.5, maybe 4 feet. On my face, I got a mild concussion, but both of these were black. I pulled my groin.
Wow.
So I'm back where I'm usually, for my age, I'm a pretty mobile person, and I'm pretty energetic. But that kind of had me it kind of was like, you need to, really, start seriously about getting yourself together, because my health has relevantly been good, but it can very easily get bad. When you're my age. So, and other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my health.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
But the first one probably would be to get in. To get in senior housing, and the other one probably would be able to be definitely. Saying you're going to leave drugs alone and really doing it is, but my mind is pretty much, made up, and get a relationship back with I have great grandkids that I haven't seen, because once I started doing drugs, I really didn't want them around me, because they, I didn't want, because their mother, and you never see me in that situation, so I was kind of ashamed of myself. So that would probably be, because you really can't do anything until you have a place to stay.
Right.
And I'm still able to, work and do things. But mainly, I think, drugs is a component why I'm on. But you have, all kind of people in these slum-ass hotels doing drugs. Yeah. But I got an incident in there, and I kind of, by doing drugs, you don't really think. If I was thinking right, I would have had them put me in another place, then tried, to get in because I have a record from 40 years ago, and it's not helping me get in a senior place.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
Right. So.